I spent $1 slop versus $1 million slop. Slop reviewer. I'm falling really slowly.
I can't get up.
Slop reviewer. This is the worst staircase ever.
Dude, oh my god, this is misery. I picked last time.
Oh, let's go right. This is kind of a freaky. Holy shit!
God, that's sick.
There's no way we can fit in there.
We'll just have it as a backdrop.
Sugoi? Dude, it's like I'm in that movie.
I'm gonna kill you here.
Dude.
Your dead body will never be found until...
Yeah. I want to make you so thorough for me.
Oh, so thorough.
I wonder, since we're gonna have a light on us, if we should go in deeper.
You can. This is like a wrap for the ground.
You think so? Dude, what is this shit? I feel like Hansel and Gretel. You know what I just thought of?
What?
The bug spray's in the cup holder. Oh! Awesome spider deaths. Yeah, because you become spider.
Okay.
What is this? This is absolutely where we do it. Okay. Okay, Des. We're next to an awesome Sugoi hill. Dude, my fucking Vans are getting muddy. No, dude. Oh! Kobe!
What?
Kobe, try to light up, bro. Oh! Sloppa. Big sloppa. Oh my god. Where's the tripod? God damn it, dude. The slop review is canceled. Yeah, I anticipated bugs. I did not anticipate it being so hot out.
So... This way?
No, definitely not. I was just looking. We could try going up the hill.
Sure.
Oh, I'm trying so hard not to eat shit. Big ass spider web I just went through. I want to wash you. Shit, you want to do it right here?
Yeah.
I think this works. I just want to confirm how pathless we are. No way. You see what I see?
Oh.
We went in a fucking circle.
Bruh. Oh my god.
Dude, we didn't go anywhere. Damn, I almost ate this spider.
Oh yeah, I see it from here.
Damn. Spider, what are you even on, bro? What the hell? How did you make this? I want to scrub you, bro. I want to fucking scrub you from head to toe. I want to wash every inch of your body.
I feel as though I'm in squalor presently.
All right.
The Slop review.
Welcome to the Slop review. You may notice something is different.
Tyler is gone.
We've lost Tyler.
And that's all that's different.
Anyways, who's going first?
Okay, I'll go first. I'm gonna do my, today I have brought one manga-ish and one anime. But the first 5 episodes of an 11 episode anime, of which I'm going to be watching the rest of it probably over the course of the next week.
You're picking up the slack.
if I get around to it. I should take over for Tyler.
The big man, because he's in goddamn Florida.
And I think I'm gonna start with my anime because I could go on a whole fucking tirade about it. So I watched I had forever ago seen a trailer for something called To Be Hero X.
To Be Hero X?
To Be Hero X.
I've never heard of this.
I put the trailer for it in the Discord. There was a trailer that came out 2 years ago which was this was about after Arcane Season 1 came out. And it was a very stylized, super interesting sort of combat scene of a certain character for 6 minutes over music that looked really good, that blew up the internet. For sort of.
Okay.
It got pretty big.
Sure.
At the time. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Okay. I think Wednesday night, I'm laying in my bed, scrolling Twitter, as you do, and I see that it is fully out. At least Season 1 of it is fully out.
Okay.
So I'm like,
exciting.
Damn, I'm gonna watch it because this character looked cool, and the art style is very cool. So To Be Hero X, art style stylistically is kind of you've seen Arcane, you've not watched Arcane, but you know what it looks like. It's
never watch Arcane.
It's so good, but it's stylistically sometimes it kind of looks like a cheaper Arcane, and sometimes it looks like just like a normal anime, basically.
Okay.
So it kind of splits between those two styles.
Sure.
Which is a pretty cool idea, I would say. Unfortunately, the parts where it looks like Arcane, in the animated show or in the trailer, it looks really good, amazing. In the actual anime, it looks alright. It doesn't look bad,
really?
but
they took all the good shots and put them in the trailer.
Yeah. So the biggest issue is that also the trailer, as far as I've seen, does not exist in the actual anime so far.
Really?
Yes. And the way that I know that is because the character that was in the trailer that was so interesting to me, that looked really cool.
Yeah.
Who also is basically the entire contents of the EP and the introduction and the ending, the music for that.
Yeah.
Is only in the 11th episode for exactly 20 seconds.
Dude, it's such a scam.
For 20 seconds.
This is what they did with Uzumaki.
Dude, it's a
Uzumaki
crazy
anime. They took every good shot from the first episode, put them all in the trailer, and then the rest of it is poopy ass.
It's crazy though, cause it's they just made up they just made this guy up. They didn't make him up, but
yeah.
He's a real character and he's very important, but he's
important for one scene.
He's important for one scene. I'm sure in season 2 he'll be all big, but whatever.
2.
So basically, what To Be Hero X is that it starts out with this guy, and it's Chinese, so it's Lin Ling.
We're back.
We're back. He gets fired from his job, and it's this world where there's heroes and stuff. And the interesting thing about To Be Hero X is that despite the amount of complexity to the world they've created, there is not a single exposition dump. Dump. For no reason. It's not like Elden Ring, where I'm there doesn't need to be an exposition dump because the world tells its story. It is just confusing for the first 2 to 3 episodes, where you finally understand the systems of the world, and then it's so strange. So it starts out in episode 1. Lin Ling is an advertising agent for a company based around heroes.
Okay.
He gets fired from his job, goes to the roof to sulk, I guess, is talking shit on this guy named Nice, who's one of the biggest heroes. His name is Nice, and he's one of the bigger heroes, and he's really attractive. And then Nice walks up behind him on the rooftop, does his hero pose where he does finger guns at him,
right,
and then walks off the building and kills himself.
What?
Doing this pose.
I'm more interested suddenly.
He commits suicide, and it's and then the agency of Nice comes up and is what the fuck just happened? Apprehends Lin Ling, and then they're you look just like Nice, so your face structure is similar to Nice.
No way.
So they make him become Nice, which is a really interesting concept immediately,
Yeah.
you know? So I'm like, immediately I'm like, this is kind of cool. I'm on board. But it falls apart.
Oh. Usually you'd see a concept like this in just like regular like celebrity culture type movies or whatever.
Yeah.
Superheroes are different.
Superheroes are
'cause You have
different.
to like do something.
Yeah. So, okay, here's the thing. Before it explains the powers of this world, and like what this world is, he is on a interview with Nice's girlfriend, where he like is like, this is how much I love her, and this is how much I know about her. And then a guy, like his old boss, comes in like a mech suit and tries to fight him, and he beats him with like superpowers.
What?
It's strange.
Okay.
After this, they never explain it, really. They never do like a great job of explaining it. But like it kind of becomes more obvious, and then they like just explicitly are talking about it. Basically, in this world, everybody has like a trust rating on their wrist.
Okay.
And however many people believe in you is +1 to that to that number. And then you get like exponentially more powerful the more people believe in you.
Oh.
And so it becomes this thing where heroes are basically like social media celebrities almost in a way. And he got powerful because he impersonates Nice.
Yeah, so people think he's nice.
So they just think he's nice, and he like basically becomes nice.
Oh.
Like he gets it, like he actually just like gets his eye color and his hair color.
Is this not just like the light side version of Chainsaw Man?
Sort of. And then it's like the inverse for bad guys, basically. Like villains are based on their fear of
Okay,
them. So
that's
it's kind of
Chainsaw
like
Man.
it's like Chainsaw Man, which is like a fairly interesting concept. It should tell me that immediately because it's just very confusing immediately.
Yeah.
But it kind of goes to like just him doing stuff and like solving things, but like it's like super not interesting. There's this like to be Hero X like competition going on is the main overarching thing, where people are trying to like become like this like the highest rating hero essentially. And he's trying to get to be Hero X basically, which is like the number one.
He wants to be Hero X.
He wants to be Hero X. It's basically like there's one scene. So a major part of it is like his girlfriend just like did not like Nice, and it was just like a contractual relationship to get more trust for them.
Right.
So they end up like staging a wedding that then gets her assassinated in the middle of the wedding.
Okay.
But she's like alive. They fake the assassination.
They fake her death.
They fake her death. And so it works through, and then to about like episode 5. At this point, his girlfriend, after
There's
having
a very large spider on me.
after having her death faked, is on an abandoned island because she teleported away. Because her ability is to be able to teleport away, or to be able to teleport to places. She teleports away.
Kind of a goated ability.
Kind of a goated ability. She leaves. Then some guy that was doing the interview in like the first episode comes back as a villain and has abducted her, and
Naturally.
he basically like can't leave his home because the wish of his fans is that he doesn't respond to the villain, so he can't leave.
Right.
He leaves anyway, and he becomes not nice. He becomes like normal Lin Ling, saves his girlfriend who ends up being like a robot, and then
What?
like it's just like a fake, and he's like, I didn't even know where she was.
Sure.
Right?
Whatever.
And then he becomes his own identity. I think a major issue with this is that Nice isn't interesting. Lin Ling, when he's nice, is not
It
interesting.
doesn't sound interesting. It sounds like he's supposed to be just like model guy. It sounds like Superman.
Yeah, like the side characters are fairly interesting. There's like a guy, I mean his whole thing is he's like a firefighter that like picked up this thing, and then he's like everybody believes in him for like standing firm. So he's like picking up heavy shit.
Oh.
But he can't. It's kind of interesting because like there's so much belief in him standing tall for the city that he cannot sit down or lay down.
That sucks.
So his life is miserable.
Yeah.
So there's like some interesting stuff happening, but like the main character himself is not at all interesting because he just takes the identity of another person.
Yeah.
So when he finally gets his own identity as like the commoner, I think, basically, on like episode 5, wherein he beats the villain, which is like a pretty coolly designed villain. At the end of that episode, he like goes to his girlfriend and is like yo, what's up, wife? On this abandoned island, I'm gonna save you. And then she gets shot in the head.
Oh my god. Seems like an overcorrection.
Not by him, but by like a random other character. And that's the end of that episode. And then the next episode opens up with a completely different character. The character that I think shot him, like the wife in the head, but I just don't care.
Right.
At all. And at this point, and the characters, like the episode with that character is the most boring, like, who cares episode. Nothing happens.
Yeah.
It's slop. And then I immediately had to just be like, I can't watch it anymore.
This sounds bad.
It starts really interesting, and it gets really boring really quick.
Sounds like it's really good at coming up with like fun concepts, and it has just the worst ability to execute on anything.
Yes. Especially because like the main character, like the character in like the opening scene and like Hero X basically.
Yeah.
It looks really cool. Like he looks
X.
awesome.
X-Des.
But he shows up for 1 second in the last episode because I kind of skipped to this point because like where does he show up? Queen, who's like a character, I guess, who shows up. This character's like fighting him, and she goes up to like the tournament, like gladiatorial ring, and she's like,
Okay.
people lost to this. This guy looks like he doesn't even care. He looks
This guy's
simple.
toast.
And then she flashes, like she passes out, and she just like wakes up like sprawled out. It doesn't show him doing anything.
Oh, awesome ability, bro.
Awesome. We didn't get to see anything.
That's for season 2.
That's for season 2. I want to show you the trailer for it because it is super cool.
I'll look at it. I'll
But
keep it.
It's like 6 minutes. It's a pretty short watch. It's better than the entire anime
6
so far.
minutes is a long ass trailer. What
You
the
can
hell?
watch it for like 3 minutes. You don't
That's
get the
a
idea.
long ass trailer.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's for like a song. So
Oh.
anyway, I'll probably watch the other half of it, but I don't want to because it just got really bad.
I don't think I would either.
So that's my first one, I guess.
All right, Slop 2. I brought 2 manga as per usual because I'm a fucking sheep to myself.
To yourself.
This is Ruling Girl Kubaru-chan by Shushi Kuitaro.
Okay.
I'm struggling here. This one's batshit insane.
Okay.
I brought a kind of a banger today.
Okay.
I think this one is let me get this out of the way. The art for this one is awful. It is like maybe the worst I've ever seen. No, second worst. It is horrifically bad.
Okay.
It is unbelievably ugly. It's trying to like copy Chainsaw Man at points. You get to the main girl, you could tell she's really like, at least her eyes especially are really modeled after Makima. You got the funky eye shit going on.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks so bad. So the plot is this guy, he's being like bullied in school and whatever, and he's like, I'm gonna kill myself, I'm gonna jump off this building. And the girl comes and she's like, I won't let you jump off this building. And he's like, what? And she's like, you will become my puppet. You're gonna throw your life away, so instead give it to me, and I will control your life to build you a better one.
I feel like I'm getting some like deep memories here.
She's like, I'll control your life and I'll make you happy. And he's like, I don't know. And she's like, how about this? And then she jumps over the fence with him and then pulls him off of the building and jumps herself. And then on the way down, she's like, if we live, I'll control you.
This is an unbelievable gambit.
And then kind of BM, she lands on top of him. She's just fine. He breaks an arm, but they live. And she's like, I have to control you now.
Does he agree?
Yeah, well, he agreed to the conditions, and he's like, all right, that's fine. And the first thing is she's like, we got to deal with your bullies. So she like transfers into his school, or into his class. She was already out of school. And like the main bully is like, he's trying to hit on her, and she honestly just kind of goes with it. Like, that's fucked up to just like make this guy watch that.
Yeah.
And she gets added like a group chat where the bully shows like a video of the main character getting bullied, and he has like no clothes on. Like a bad video. And the dude, she's telling him this, and he's like, oh, don't watch it. That's like an embarrassing video of me. And she's like, I already watched it. She's like, no, I watched all of it. I watched the whole thing.
On repeat. I put
He's
on
like-
loop.
She was like, yeah, I guess that would be embarrassing, but I did watch it. And he's like, oh, that sucks. And she's like, I know how to deal with your bullies. We're going to take this video that you hate, we're going to put it on Twitter. And we're going to mask ourselves as the bullies, and internet justice will take over. And it works. It works.
That's insane.
They do that, and then within like an hour, a guy with like face tattoos shows up who's live streaming, and he just kicks the shit out of this like high school bully.
I feel like I do know what you're talking about. Like I'm getting random like flashes of like something I wanted to
I
forget.
just think it's so funny that same day.
Same day is
shows up and
crazy.
Just kicks the shit out of a high schooler.
Like you'd think it would take a bit longer to get around to that.
And what I noticed reading this is that his life honestly does not get a lot better. I made a list of bad things that happened to him since meeting this girl.
Okay.
To begin, he gets pulled off of a building. The bullying video of him goes viral on the internet. His father sells him off to the girl. He gets hit over the head by another woman and knocked out. He gets kidnapped. He gets molested more than once. He gets his tongue forcibly pierced. The girl's dad drives him off of a cliff in a car. He gets NTR'd in like his head for a couple hours. That
In
was
his
weird.
head, okay.
Yeah, what is that? He gets scouted by a cult, and then the cult tries to murder him, and then he jumps off of a building again, and then the cult all kill themselves, and the girl guilt trips him over it.
Whoa.
Does it sound like she has like saved his life? Does he sound happy? This sounds miserable.
This is good. No, his life is better.
Yeah. She's like, we need to get you romance experience.
Mm-hmm.
And so, she gets him like a date with this girl, and she has an earpiece, and she's like feeding him lines, and and the girl like finds out. She's like, "Why do you have an earpiece?" And he's like, and he just takes it out. Right? He's going solo now, and he finds out she is insane. They go to her house, and she knocks him out and kidnaps him and like molests him a lot, and apparently she has a split personality disorder.
Okay.
This random person they just ran across. And then the next character introduced is another just random character they run across that the girl is like, "I'll make you my puppet too." She's making like a little web of puppets.
Yeah.
This
as you
girl
do.
is like a serial killer.
Okay.
She's like a genuine serial killer. And it's like, how do we keep finding these fucking weird ass people?
Yeah.
And then the second to last big plot point that happens is the bully. She's like, the bully still doesn't like you. I think I know how to fix this. So when I said she got like NTR, he got NTR in his head for a while. She is like, "I'm gonna go on a date with your bully right now," and then they just leave in the middle of the day and just go to her house. And he's
Dude.
just gotta like sit at school and be like, "Damn, that sucks." And then he goes there after, and what he finds out is she was actually brainwashing the bully to be in love with the main character.
And the bully's the guy?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it's kind of hype. And the bully kind of molests him a little bit too.
Oh.
That happens a lot, honestly.
Whoa.
And then, actually, the reason the dad comes in is because it's like the weird girl who's like making all her puppets, and like the split personality girl, and the guy, and the weird girl is like, I will foster romance in a better way. We're gonna have sex on my bed, all three of us
All three.
together. And as he's getting molested again, he's like, I don't think it's a good idea, and they're not stopping. And then her dad comes in. He's like, "What the fuck is going on here?" So they go to drive.
Oh my god.
The dad and the main character. The dad's like, "What are you doing with my daughter?" And he's like, "Honestly, sir, I'm not quite sure." He's like, "We did not have sex. We did kiss." And so the dad's like, "All right," and he drives him off of a cliff. And they just live. They land in a tree.
Did he intentionally drive him off a cliff?
Yeah.
Oh, of
Yeah,
course.
they wanted to kill them both.
He wanted to kill them both.
Yeah. I'm reading this. I'm like, this is not a better life.
This is miserable.
This looks honestly at least slightly stressful.
It's at least slightly.
Like moderately stressful. This doesn't look good. So after that, the last plot point is they meet. There's like a knock on the door, and like, who is that? And it's just like a random woman, and she's like, she has started a cult around this girl because everyone's becoming her puppets.
Right.
She's like, we need to devote our lives to her. And she's like, come to my castle. So they go to her castle.
Her castle.
And they find there's like 20 people in cocoons on the ground. They look like body bags. And they're like, what the fuck? And they're like, no, it's fine. They're not dead. They've been in there for a month. They're being kept alive by the hope of meeting the girl. And they all hatch from their cocoons as just normal people. And they're like, we gotta get out of here. And they're like, they're blocking the exit, so they're like, I guess we gotta go up. They climb up a spire of a castle in Japan.
Yeah.
In like Tokyo.
Okay.
And the cult is there. They're trying to kill them. They're trying to kill the guy. They think he's like done something to the girl who was their god. And he's like, well, I guess we're gonna have to jump out of another building. And they're just fine. And the cult is like, oh, maybe she isn't a god because she chose to go with him. So they're like, well, our god is dead. We're free. And they all kill themselves. Every single one of them. And then the girl is like, they're like, afterward, what happens is he jumps out of the window and he's like, if we survive this fall, you have to date me.
Okay.
And she's like, all right. And they do it. And then later it shows them on like a date at like a house. They're just watching a movie. And she's like, yeah. They're watching the news and it shows the suicides of all the people. Uh-huh. And she's like, yeah, well, at least you're dating me, right? She's like, yeah, we could have saved them, but instead you're dating me. And we're going to do that instead. And then it just ends.
Is it like over?
I don't know. It's been a month.
Oh my god, that's so funny. That's like the ending.
I'm like, damn. You're supposed to be making his life better.
How many chapters is this?
I want to say like 20 something maybe. I don't remember.
Damn, it tells a loaded story in 20
like
chapters.
50. It like really like, it kind of boggles your brain because there's so many things happening.
Yeah, it's like a flashback.
And they all just sort of happen. Nothing flows into each other. It just, I don't even know how long like this story takes place in.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if this is the events of a year or a week.
It like concusses you.
It does, and it looks awful. It looks really, really, really bad the whole way
It's so
through.
funny that it looks so bad.
It looks bad.
Wow.
And that's it.
Okay, that's crazy.
She didn't save him.
She did not save him. Yeah, I've seen some, like, there's a few with this, like, storyline of, like, it's just like a self-insert where, like, a real guy on, like, the fucking tattered edges of his sanity is suddenly writing, like, a self-insert manga about a wife saving him.
Yeah, I love these ones. That's my shit, dude.
They're just like me.
They all just like me.
For real. Yeah, it's weirdly common, and they're always strange, and I never like them.
They are very often, like super weird.
Yeah. Like, it kind of puts some credence to the idea that the author is, like, genuinely, like, going near insane.
Yeah.
Because, like...
Also, you read these, and it's like, well, dude, I know why you're not dating anyone. Like, I can tell. That's because you're writing this shit. What the hell is this?
Like, this is what you're spending your...
No girl wants to jump off of a building with you twice.
Put that on your Hinge profile, like...
Would jump off a building.
Would jump off a building for a certain deal. Put up a good enough deal, and I'm going off the building for you. Ew.
Alright, what's your second one?
Okay, before I get to my second one, I want to say the Shinobio one that you were talking about last week.
Yep.
I didn't read all of it. I just wanted to look at, like, the first chapter real quick before I could get to it. And nothing could have prepared me for the way he looks when he's a Shinobio.
He is bizarre.
That takes away all conventions. I would throw up too.
Yeah. Since we're here, I was going to do this later, but welcome to the Slop update corner.
Okay.
Because we have a second chapter.
Okay.
And I wanted to... I'm not going to update every chapter, obviously, but now that we have an idea of the plot, I'd like to lay down what the plot is.
Okay.
As far as we know. He is a Chunibyo.
Okay.
We know the assassin girl who threw up on him, but is also like kind of a spy thing. She wanted to spread his school pictures all across the world. We don't really know why.
Right.
Now, cut to chapter 2. There are 3 girls in play. There's her. There's a different girl that wasn't really... She was barely in chapter 1. She wasn't important. I didn't mention her at all. Mm-hmm. And then there's Cock and Ball girl.
Okay, Cock and Ball.
So we'll get to her third.
Cock and Ball.
The second girl, at the end of the first chapter, he is like... They all tell him to stay after school separately.
Okay.
And he kind of, like, big dicks it, and he just, like, doesn't do it. He just goes home. Mm-hmm. It's like, fuck him. I'm not doing this. And girl number 2 is just in his house. And she's like, I made you dinner. He's like, what? And she's like, I made you dinner. And he's like, I guess we're doing this now then. So they do that. And he learns that her hair is like tentacles that can, like, manipulate things around her. And he's like, what the fuck? And she's like, oh, I'm an alien. I'm from like a distant star. He's like, okay.
I'm a distant star.
And she's like, can I touch you? And he's like, yeah. Yeah, sure, probably. She starts feeling his like head with her tentacles. And she's like, yep, it's you. And he's like, what? And he's like, I've been trying to find you. Because I need to spread your school picture across the whole universe.
Across the whole universe.
He's like, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
He just wants to be free of his past.
While she's saying this, they do like the classic anime thing where he flips back in his chair. He's like, watch. But she's just still touching him with the tentacles. He's like, stop touching me. And then she just leaves. And he's like, what the fuck? So he takes a bath after.
Right.
He's in the bath and he's like, there's a lot more bubbles than usual. It's kind of a bomb bubble bath. And he's like, why are they moving? And then Cock and Ball Girl rises from the water.
Oh my god.
Still staring at his penis.
Of course.
And he's like, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm looking at your dick and your balls. It's a different translator. You could tell because they switched from cock and balls to dick and balls.
Right.
She's like, I'm definitely a cock main myself, but dick is fine.
Dick is like it's.
She's like, I'm looking at your dick and your balls. And he's like, why? How did you get here? She's like, magic, obviously.
Duh.
He's like, what? And she's like, yeah, I used a spell. And they explain how like magic works, which you need like an incantation and then like a conduit.
Okay.
The conduit for teleportation, I think, was silver. And she's like, I am from another world. I'm from a fantasy world. I am trying to kill the Demon King. There is only one spell that can do it. And the conduit is your cock or your balls. I need to bring one of them with me.
Oh my god.
And she's like, it can be just one ball. And he's like, I don't want to do that. I want them. And he's like, there's got to be another way. And she's like, there is one other way. There is one other thing that will work as a conduit. Your school pictures. And after we use them, they'll be put in the greatest magical textbooks to be used for generations. He's like, no, you need to leave. And she's like, fine. Because like his like sister comes home. He's like, you need to leave. She's like, fine. She starts like leaving. And he's like, no, you need to teleport out. I know you can do it. You're not going to walk into my family like this. And she does. And that's where the story is.
Dude, it's so funny that they're forcing ways for school pictures to be involved.
It keeps progressing. Either it's spread across the whole world or the whole universe or in a textbook in another like fantasy world.
That's so funny.
It's incredible.
God.
It's truly generational.
That is so funny.
I only have one major gripe.
Okay.
They're all high schoolers, as you would expect. The one fantasy girl, the dick and ball girl, she is not drawn like a high schooler.
Okay.
It's very upsetting. She's definitely like the younger looking one.
Yeah.
Which, honest, if they kept it just like that, it's like, that's weird, but whatever. It's the fact that, like, why they choose to put her in the bathtub.
Why is she the cock and ball
Why
girl?
is she depicted without any clothes on? The other two get fully dressed. Actually, not really, but they get more dressed.
Yeah.
That's my only major gripe with it. But if you close your eyes, it's pretty good. It's fire.
If you close your eyes and read it, read the braille, it's pretty good.
So funny.
That's so good.
All right, we can move on. This has been Mason Illa's Update Corner, Slop Des.
The update, the Chinobio Slop Corner.
Chunibyo, awesome.
Chunibyo. Okay, so for mine, I've got one that I've been reading for quite a while, called Demon X Angel Can't Get Along. It's a colored, so it's like a well, it's like China, so I don't remember, it's like a Donghua, I think.
I think so.
Is what that's
I'm
called?
going to give you my Donghua.
My Donghua. And this one, I don't have too many notes on this one. It's basically, like, it doesn't always hit. It's, like,
Sure.
it tries its best, but it doesn't always hit. But when it's funny, it's, like, actually pretty funny. Like,
Okay,
it hits
that's
some
rare.
pretty funny moments. It's through a lot of, like, not that funny stuff. And I think a lot of it is that the artist is very, like, he has a lot of chapters where, there's a lot of 0.5 chapters where his, like, personality really comes through.
Okay.
And a lot of it is, like, you can tell that, like, it is for Chinese people. Like, there's a lot of times where, like, the translator is, like...
For sky is your god.
Yeah, for sky is your god.
Ice on pipe.
Stacks on all sides. There's a lot of times where the translator is, like, this one bangs in China, but you wouldn't get it. You know?
I love when translators, like, hop in.
They're like, this one's, like, they try their best to explain the joke, but, like, it's for China.
This one bangs in China.
This one bangs in China, or they try their best to like.
I'm gonna start saying that.
Well, this one bangs
If I
in
make
China.
a joke that bombs, this one goes crazy.
This one
in
goes
China.
crazy on the
In
Great
the
Wall.
motherland, dude. Oh.
This one gets you some social credit. So like there's some like, but like when it hits, it hits pretty good. But
Okay.
generally speaking, like the art style, it is kind of like it's like Rent-A-Girlfriend, sort of in a way where like they have like one drip panel,
Right.
but it's in color and like it looks really good. When it looks good, it looks really good.
I don't really like manga in color.
This one, just like, I mean, I obviously, like, we need to have a manhwa day for me sometime where I get to talk about my action slop. So obviously I'm okay with color. But, like, this one just looks, generally speaking, like it's very stylized, so I like it a lot.
Okay.
But the plot is, it's in the name. The guy is a demon and the girl is an angel. And they ended up getting into, like, a contractual marriage, basically. Where they initially do not fuck with each other. But they have like a ring that forces them into like activities, and
activities
into like, and initially it's like hold hands, but like literally like the person that put it on them is like, yeah, you can see the level of the ring, and like the ring is going to increase in level over time until like it's gonna like you're gonna be having sex.
I have read one so unbelievably similar to this,
Dude.
If you weren't talking about something in color, I would think we would.
Yeah, you were reading the same thing. Yeah, so often this one like also just like goes on like a weird tangent. Like they were on like a abandoned island for a while, that was like controlled by the demon's sister. So there's like like it just gets weird.
Why?
Like it gets weird often, but like the art of it is so good and like it's just enjoyable. I don't know, if you want like a colored ever. It can be pretty good, and it occasionally is like genuinely pretty funny. It's not as good as like drawing romance. I think it's the goat of colored romance, but like this one's pretty funny.
Yeah, they drew romance.
They drew romance. I and a Koji art.
The one I read one similar to this it was a guy. It was like a fantasy world. This guy is set up in an arranged marriage with the daughter of the Demon King. Because he's like a well-liked guy, and it's supposed to like better connections between humans and demons.
Of course.
And they have a book that they have to follow that does the exact same thing. That's like relationship progress. And the end is like, yeah, they'll probably have sex.
Which, by the way, I will send you a picture of the name of the author. His name is in Chinese characters.
Oh, it's
so
over.
I can't pronounce it.
It's over.
It's 2 Chinese characters.
I'll put it on screen. He's right.
It's right.
He's right there.
It's
I
right
don't even know
here.
my fingers in frame.
It's right here. So.
Real quick, I'm gonna check that we're still recording.
Yes, sir.
I get nervy.
Well, nervy.
All right, my second one. Something very close to my heart. Something that you'll know immediately.
Okay.
The name of this one is honestly the best part. It's maybe the most iconic name between us we've ever said. Except for exclaiming pain in an Apex game. That's different.
Yeah, that's different.
This is the illustrious, my stepsister who says go die to me every day, hypnotizes me to fall for her while I was sleeping. We have talked about this one so much.
We reference the name
just because
often.
it's fun to say the entire name.
My stepsister says go die to me. It's like, what? It's impossible to memorize, but it's so funny.
Yeah. I didn't even have to copy and paste that name. I've known it my whole life. This is by Tanaka Doriru.
Doriru?
My first bullet point just says, actually some of the worst garbage ever put to paper. I reread the entire thing for this.
Mm-hmm.
It is unbelievably bad.
It's horrific.
It is unbelievable. It was so much worse than I remember. It's done now.
It's done?
I read the whole thing.
Oh my god, you need to tell me how it ends.
Oh, we'll get there. If you couldn't tell from the plot, this guy's a stepsister who hates him.
It does say it all in the name.
She hates him, and she says go die to him every day. But secretly she likes him because she tries to hypnotize him
while he's sleeping.
To fall for her while he's sleeping. And it just doesn't work. And I don't know why he played along with it the first time. Or like for the first few seconds, he could have been like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then the whole thing solves itself.
Yeah.
But instead he just decides to pretend to keep sleeping. And then he's too far in. Because she starts being like, you need to be in love with me. And she threatens to murder him with a drill. The drill comes up often. His whole life is bound by this drill.
Which, by the way, like, this fucks up your sleep, dude. You've every single night or whatever, you've got to go get hypnotized by your sister and pretend to be.
Well, he doesn't even fall asleep most of the time after this. She just walks up and she's like, look at this coin. And he's like, oh, all right.
Okay, all right.
Guess we're doing this now. And she basically just, like, gets him to molest her in various ways.
Yeah.
That's kind of all it is. The one thing about this manga is it's actually kind of funny. Because the author, like, I think knows it's really stupid.
Yeah,
He knows it's dumb. He knows his writing is awful. So, like, the main character will, like, call his stepsister fucked in the head. He'll call her, like, degenerate. A lot of, like, his thought bubbles say lol at the end. Because they're so stupid. But, so after we get introduced to the childhood friend, who, I'm going to be honest, she is the GOAT.
Really?
My biggest gripe with this story is that it's not just about her. I was like, I like her way more than the stepsister. She's like a childhood friend, and she is like a genius. That's her whole thing. She's really smart. She immediately picks up that weird shit's going on. And the stepsister doesn't like that. He doesn't like that his childhood friend is around. His childhood friend is also so aggressively into him.
Yeah.
In like chapter 1, she's like, I like you. I just do. And he's like, oh yeah. And he's like, she means it as a friend. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, it is so, like, abundantly
Yeah.
And his stepsister hypnotizes him again, and she's like, you need to call the childhood friend out, and you need to reject her. You need to tell her you're in love with your sister instead. He's like, all right. So he goes to do it, and they go out to, like, a cafe, and the childhood friend immediately notices. And so they're passing paper to talk about what's actually happening. He passes the paper that's like, I don't mean what I'm about to say. My sister's making me do this. Childhood friend not. She gets it. And then he's like, I can't be with you because I'm in love with my sister. And the childhood friend is, like, really funny because she just immediately starts sobbing. She just forgets that it's fake. There's a really funny panel where it's like a full page spread. It's like the glamour panel.
Yeah.
But the author's really, like, bad at drawing. This looks like shit. She's just sobbing while, like, pouring a drink on herself. And then she's like, I know how to fix this. Because the sister is in the store.
Yeah.
Just, like, a few seats over with, like, a hood on. The childhood friend just walks over and, like, pours a drink on her.
Dude, what in God?
Like, this sucks. And for 20 chapters, this is honestly a lot to keep up with. He writes smut. A lot of it.
Oh my God. Okay.
All sister related.
Oh.
So it's like, okay, I can see your intentions from the start.
Yeah.
I see why you're going with this. His sister is a huge fan, but doesn't know it's him. And he finds out that she's a fan because she hypnotizes him, and she's like, they basically do a table read for one of his, like, books. And she's like, we're gonna have to read through this one together. We're gonna role play it. He's like, that sucks. And she pulls out the book, and he wrote it, and he's like, oh man.
Damn it.
And then he's supposed to do a book signing event. And she's like, we're gonna go on a date to the book signing event. And he's like, all right. But he's the author, so he's like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
So they go on a date they go to dinner beforehand, and then he's like, I gotta use the bathroom. She's like, okay. He goes to the bathroom. He's in there for a while. Because his plan is to just, like, text her and be like, I can't go. I've got some abdominal problems. You're gonna have to go without me. Where then he would then sneak off and go, I guess. But she was like, hold on. And she comes into the bathroom.
Oh my God.
And she's like, I want to, but it's before he could text. He's just in the bathroom normally. And she comes in. She's like, I want to watch you pee. He's like, what?
What?
And she's like, no, I want to watch you pee really badly right now. She really wants to watch him pee. Like, it is, he's like, you got to go to the book signing. We're going to be late. And she's like, I need to watch you pee. Like, and he's like, you can watch me pee 7 days a week, or you could go to this book signing. She's like, damn it. So she goes. Which, honestly, in that situation, I'm like, why not just choose to not let her watch you pee? That sucks, but then you don't have to go.
Yeah.
So she goes, and he's like, how do I go without her recognizing me? So he cross-dresses,
Oh, yeah.
Naturally.
Yeah.
The first person that comes in for the book signing is not his sister, it's his childhood friend. Because she knew it was him immediately. She's a genius, I guess.
Oh my god.
And she just kind of fucks with him for a few minutes and then leaves. She doesn't do anything.
Let it go,
I'm
dude.
like, what a useless plot point, but okay. The sister comes in. She doesn't find out. She's like, you smell like him, though. And he's like, what? She's like, you smell like my brother that I'm in love with. And the manager there of, like, the signing that knows he's cross-dressing for this reason. He told her all of this.
Yeah.
She's like, they work together. She clutches up. And then she's like, well, they actually work together because the author here, this woman, gets all of her material from your brother. It's based off of what he wants.
Oh.
And it's all fucking sister smut. And she's like, oh my god, Sugoi.
Why did the author do that?
Well, this is the...
Oh, no, sorry. Why did the producer do that?
She's just fucking with him.
See, that.
She just doesn't like him straight up.
Oh my god.
And so she's like, wow, do I need to not hypnotize him? And then a little after this, the sister's out doing something. A childhood friend comes to his house. And she's like, we need to figure this shit out.
Yeah.
What is this? He explains like everything that's going on. She's like, okay, I get it. You need to stop doing this. This is weird. She's like, I can help you get out of this because I'm a genius. He's like, what? And she's like, yeah, but let's have sex first.
Of
Starts
course.
taking all of her clothes off. And she's like, no. He's like, no, I can't do that because it would hurt my sister. He's just a freak.
Yeah.
Your childhood friend starts beating the shit out of him.
Okay.
She's on top of him on the ground. She's like, bam, bam, like, it's really violent.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
oh, okay. She's still the goat, low key. And then she's like, I don't know if I can help you with this, but I can help you with this because I'm a genius, but I won't do it willingly. So maybe I'll leave this hypnotism book here and I'll go home. And she leaves the door unlocked. So he's like, okay, I guess I'm supposed to hypnotize her. And it actually works for some reason.
Of course.
It works. And he hypnotizes her and he's like, you need to help me because you really like me. And she's like, bet. And that's how it continues. So there's a bunch of stupid bullshit in the middle. It doesn't matter. He has to like, there's like a bully guy who's trying to date his sister. And he has to like fight the bully for it, but they do it with like a track and field relay. It's horseshit. I don't care. The bully pushes him down a flight of stairs, which is kind of funny. Like bashes his head open.
Oh
I'm
my
like, this
God.
guy's getting brutalized. You get a spider on you.
Oh. How does Spider get indoors?
in my room.
In my
where we
your
record
room.
every episode with
Yeah.
Tyler.
Tyler's here.
And then, honestly, after that, it kind of just ends. It's just over. He's not getting hypnotized anymore because he was like, the reason the hypnosis didn't work is because I was already in love with my sister. And so they just start dating. And then it ends. But there's a twist on the ending. Something that I could not have foreseen.
Okay.
In the little bottom left, instead of saying fin or the end, it says part 1 complete. Bum, bum, bum.
Boom, boom, boom.
Part 1?
There doesn't need to be part 2.
I checked. There is not a part 2 yet. I looked. I was like, I think this is actually based off a light novel.
Yeah.
I think it was supposed to advertise a light novel.
That's what because I think initially I was under the impression that they'd just done a few chapters to advertise the light novel.
That's how it was. There was only like 3 chapters at first.
Just to advertise it and then move on.
Yeah, and then I guess some people liked it for me. I thought it was funny.
We thought the name was funny.
So they finished it off. It was like, it's like 25 chapters. It's bad.
They watched like the graph. You know how you can like search up how often a word is used?
Yeah.
In history, they watched the graph quickly rise as we found out about it and kept quoting.
We kept
They're
saying
like,
it in fucking Apex games.
"Fuck, we gotta get on this."
Thank God. It's poopy garbage.
It's poopy garbage.
And justice for the childhood friend, bro.
Dude.
She was the goat from day one. She just wanted to help him, and then he was like, "No, I can't. You can't help me because I'm in love with my sister." And she rightfully beats the shit out of him for being in love with his sister, and then he hypnotizes her to help him be in love with his sister.
That is just insane. I
will save her.
I am not always a huge fan of these like stepsister things because like it's technically like it's legal. It's like
diet incest.
it's like diet incest, and I think even more so, it's so rooted in this like current belief of like if you do literally nothing, like the perfect woman will be handed to you on a silver platter.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like the perfect woman moves in with you and then is also in love with you even though you're like a weird gooner. Actually, she has reason to like him. He's nice.
Oh yeah,
He's a good guy.
Like, you know, it's like it's probably written by people, you know, no disrespect to the author, but it's probably written by
Full disrespect to the author on my end.
it's probably written by people that don't get girls or anything and don't try to and get mad at the lack
Yeah.
despite the no effort. You know?
And then I think probably 15% of authors writing these actually just want to date their sister.
Probably true.
There was, oh, fuck, what manga was it the author of Ishino Ko, whose sister, like, cut him off? No, it wasn't. It was Iromanga Sensei.
Oh my
Not
God.
even close. Those aren't even similar. Yeah, his sister fully cut him off because he was writing too much incest manga.
I mean,
Based.
honestly, it's weird to do that.
I also like to say the art for this one is really bad, but in a funny way.
For Godai Godai? Or, yeah. It's not good, but it's not like
It fits.
it's not even like bad in like a because like there's sometimes like exclaiming pain in the middle of an Apex game, like the initial parts of that girl's not just cute, where it's bad but in a good way.
Yeah.
This is not bad in a good way.
This
It's
is-
bad in a funny way.
It's bad in a funny way. It's bad in a fitting way. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, that should be on this story. That makes sense.
Which you'd think would be the same thing, because often with like movies, that's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's not the same
It's
thing
not
here.
the same at all.
It's not the same.
It's different.
So it's kind of like the moonfall of manga arts, you could say.
I don't know Moonfall. I haven't seen it.
They reference Elon Musk at least 5 times or something.
Really?
It's insane. They glaze him.
It's crazy to do it more than once.
Yeah.
All
It's
right. One Piece
weird.
Dance.
One piece of.
Arlong Park. This is chapters. I'm sorry, I didn't have my notes pulled up fast enough. I would like to apologize to the Slop review. Chapters 69 through 95.
So I read this one at the wee hours because I pulled an all-nighter by accident. So I read this one at like 2 a.m. So I was a little out of it.
I started reading it at 2 a.m. I was at work.
Let's fucking go. I'm a little broken up on it, honestly. I think so. Like a lot of I use Comic to read my stuff, and Comic has comments that aren't yet just AI like bot shit.
Oh, it's got real comments.
It has real comments,
That's crazy.
which is the best part about Comic, by far. So I got to see a lot of like public opinion on it, and a lot of public opinion on it was like, I'm crying. I cried 20 years ago and I'm crying now, and I'm like, to be honest, it's not that sad.
Dude,
It's not that sad.
I think, to summarize my thoughts on it, I think you gotta kill yourself.
I think that for me, the saddest, like for some reason, like the most emotion I felt was in the explanation of like the pinwheel for Genji or whatever. Like
Yeah.
I was like, damn,
That's part of the point, dude.
that's deep, dude.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's fucking deep.
Arlong Park.
I think that the main villain in this one was significantly better than the other ones.
Oh yeah, Arlong is so much more interesting.
He's not perfect yet.
No.
I think that part of that is just like it is still a relatively short arc,
Yeah.
so it
and
didn't have
he's-
enough time to build him up.
And he's still kind of like comically evil. He's like a comic book bad guy.
But he's closer to being like you know, at the end he does something like comically evil, but like there's certain parts of him where like he does like okay and like rational things where it's like okay.
Yeah. I'll spoil a tiny bit. You never meet Arlong again. He's out of the story. He's probably dead, honestly. They dropped the building on him.
They
But,
crushed his nose.
In this arc, they mentioned Fishman Island. Eventually, when we go to Fishman Island, it even like way later. It's even then it like goes back and fleshes out Arlong's character of why he's like this.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, like
He has some motive.
I think Nami had a pretty decent like backstory overall.
It's the best so far.
But probably the best so far. It's it's like the action at the end wasn't perfect because they do like the delete Luffy out of nowhere.
Yep.
Thing.
I was gonna bring that up. This is one of the ones where they just put Luffy away for a while. This is not the last example, and it is far from the most egregious.
But it is still like, come on, and it also, it's like they kind of contradict themselves immediately. This isn't really like an issue, but it's something I noticed that was kind of strange and funny. So Luffy ends up in the water. He can't swim, right?
Yeah.
He's stuck underwater. Sure. All right. It's a pretty annoying way to delete him from the fight, but okay. I think it's a good way to showcase the way, because I think that until now, the whole like devil fruit can't swim thing hasn't been an issue necessarily. So I think this is a good way to show like it is an issue.
It is a huge issue.
It is a problem. So I think that's fine now. But there was a bit of like a bruh, like, because I remember Arlong at one point was like, yeah, people that have the devil fruit, A, can't swim, and B, can't use their power. And at that exact moment, Gum Man is using his power to extend his neck all the way up to the surface.
No, could be good. I think the difference here is that I think it'd be more apt to say they can't like control any sort of their power. Because he's not doing that. They're just pulling his head.
Sure, okay.
I think that's the explanation here.
Okay.
I love this arc. I love this arc fucking front to back, dude. I think the scene where Nami finally asks for help in the street, Luffy puts the hat on her and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the most iconic moments in the entire series.
That one's pretty good.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool scene.
I read it hit again. I was like, damn.
Damn.
Oh my dude, the pan out and it's just like the fucking three freaks just sitting there ready.
Yeah.
Oh my god, and Usopp's there, I guess. It's such a good scene.
The part that is a really good scene when Nami's like, Luffy, help. You know, like suddenly turns around and be like, help me, and then Luffy's like, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Like it really shows that like Luffy's kind of just like the goat.
Yeah, it really speaks to like it's really good at telling Luffy's character too, because if you remember, he walked away from her backstory.
Yeah,
he doesn't even know. He doesn't know who Arlong is.
Yeah, he just leaves.
He's just like, my navigator is stabbing herself. I gotta fucking fight a fish.
Yeah.
He busts in the door and he's like, who is Arlong? He's like, I know I'm here to beat one of you. I just don't know who.
I don't know who I'm fighting, but I'm fighting somebody. Yeah, it shows that Luffy's like a really great guy in like a pretty well written way, I'd say.
I think there's also the moment during the fight where Arlong is like, your comrades are being shit. Or, no, he's saying like, you're weak, you kind of suck, you can't navigate, you can't cook. What can you do? And Luffy's like, I can beat you. Mm-hmm. It's really like that is really low-key Luffy's only purpose.
Like he's just like a big battering ram.
Purposes on, like in this crew are to like be motivation, because he's got to be the king of the pirates.
Yeah.
And he's the guy that just has to win.
He just has to win against the big bad. Yeah, like that is his, and like to give purpose in a way, like.
Yeah, that's like kind of what I said with the motivation.
Yeah, like give a direction, but like yeah, his main current thing is like the main character of the story, you know, blah blah blah, and just beating the big bad.
Yeah, they do that same idea again, in an even better way, like 300 chapters from now.
Oh, perfect. I think another thing that was, like Zoro has just been dealt a bad hand in every arc. Like, he's still wounded. He's been wounded for 3 arcs.
It sucks to be Zoro.
When he finally, like, started to feel a little bit better, like, fucking Mihawk comes out of nowhere to obliterate him, and he's still wounded. Zoro, like, they just keep on, like, like, he just keeps on getting... Luffy and Zoro are just too strong for this era, so they keep getting nerfed and, like, swept under.
We always have to deal with fucking wounded Zoro.
Like, it is like getting a little criminal.
He just gets to keep aura farming though, because he's like, yeah, I beat you and I'm wounded. Mm-hmm. Arlong picks him up. He looks at the fucking slash on his body. He's like, what the hell happened? Even he's shocked. He's like, what the fuck?
Like, how are you alive?
How did you do this? I like how the start of this arc, Nami keeps trying to like farm fucking aura, and she is failing really badly.
Repeatedly. Nami, yeah.
She's like, you trusted me, And she's like, fucking, she's like, yeah, you trust me, that's crazy. And then Arlong's like, yeah, and we killed her mom. And she can see her face flinch. I'm like, dude,
Why would you do that?
give her a minute, bro.
Why would you pack watch on her like that?
Zoro ruins her aura too by trying to drown himself.
Yep.
I also said, on the
Usopp.
way there, Nami just kicks the shit out of some kid.
Yeah.
I forgot that. I was like, damn.
Yeah, that was crazy. Usopp was kind of just like annoying in this arc, to be honest. It's been a Usopp blunders recently. He's not been great since being introduced.
He's not going to be great for a while.
But
Usopp, I've said he's a controversial character.
I wouldn't say it's to the point where I'd be like fucking on Twitter rage baiting about Usopp, but I don't think he improved this arc.
Kinda, a little bit, because he did turn around and fight.
He did,
He
but that
got
almost
up.
felt like we need to include Usopp more than like a Usopp
No.
doing anything.
He did it though.
That felt like it was like character growth, like he's getting braver and all that.
What I thought was funny about that fight was that Usopp brutalizes that fish.
He does.
It was violent. He lights him on fire, and then just beats him with a hammer to death. I'm like, holy shit, Usopp.
It is crazy.
Nobody got it this
It is
bad,
insane. Also, like, so the one thing also I liked about this one, I don't think any of like Arlong's crew die. I think Arlong disappears, right? But I don't think anybody's like dead necessarily. At least like shown to be dead.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But like it is a good idea this early to show that like a character, even if it's like not a major character, like a character that they bring up is not like on the table to like they can die. Like the
Yeah,
mom
yeah.
of Nami
Yeah.
did like die.
That's a flashback though.
There's like a flashback, but it's like it's like good to show that like they're not afraid to kill characters.
Well, someone dies in the first chapter. In the exact same
Oh
way.
yeah. That's true.
It is always kind of hype in One Piece because they happen so rarely.
Yeah.
Especially after this, when they get to the Grand Line, because people are too strong.
Mm-hmm.
Right now in the East Blue, it's kind of crazy when someone just gets shot to death, and it's like, I forgot that was on the table. I forgot that existed.
Executed for war
Like,
crimes.
wow, they just got shot with a gun. They didn't get like blown up and then thrown to Agartha.
Yeah.
You watching that big ass spider?
I am
right
watching
there?
that big ass spider.
Dude,
He's been fucking
I've seen him. I saw him at the very start.
creeping about.
Dude is moving. Yeah, I love this arc. I think this is the first like great arc, which does not, considering the inconsistency of early One Piece, does not bode well for what's next.
Yeah, I also think that in a way it shows like cracks in early One Piece because like it is a good arc, but there are like action like manga or manhwa with like equally as good if not better arcs out
Yeah, of
there.
course. It's not perfect by any means.
Yeah, the value, like, so it's like at this point in this amount of chapters, I'm like, you know, I was a little bit unimpressed with like, if this is like the banger, you know, I've read like 50 bangers, you know.
I only have read 50 because I just don't read shonen, but yeah.
Like, there's many better arcs that I could, like, you know.
Yeah.
But the value of One Piece later on is that it's like 500 chapters of banger.
Yeah. The thing is, like, this arc, I think it's great. Yeah, it's not perfect, but like, then later we have another great arc, and then another one.
Yeah.
And then another one. It's like, yeah, I could think of 10 examples of arcs that are better than Arlong Park, and I could think of 10 examples of arcs in One Piece that are better than Arlong Park.
Yeah, the value comes in later, so it's like it takes a while to get it.
Yeah, I just think it's just good that they got one really solid one in the first 100 chapters. Oda clutched up.
One to like actually get you a little bit with like the hook.
Yeah, because after this, we honestly hit a dead spot for a while. Because we got to go through, like, fucking some bullshit. We got to go through Logtown. We got to go through another village. And then the next, like, good arc is Alabasta, which is, I think, starts, like, chapter, like, 160 or 170.
That's not too far off.
It's not insanely far. It might even be a little later. But I know it's around just before 200. Alabasta is better than Arlong Park.
Okay.
I will say that. Alabasta is, I think, the first arc that if you're making a tier list, you could make a really good case for like this is an S tier arc.
Sure. Okay. So I should hold full on judgment until that arc of like, you know, like
Yeah.
the peak of the peak.
Arlong Park is still a good spot to be like, okay, I don't know to be like, do I like this or do I not?
Yeah.
Because it has a lot of the ideas that later arcs will do better or more like fleshed out. But it really encapsulates kind of this is what it's gonna be. This is the story. This is how this story works. We introduce characters and then we do a flashback for like a volume.
Yeah.
And we come back. Okay, next, I think the next 2 arcs are both mini arcs that are 5 chapters each. So I think we do both of them.
I think we 100%.
The one after that is 9 chapters, actually. Do you want to do all 3?
Let's do the 2 and then do a check-in.
Damn.
I won't say anything about the quality, but I'll be like, am I reading more or less?
All right, because I just don't like any of these ones. Actually, I kind of like that one.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll freaking awesome read Sugoi Des.
Awesome read Sugoi Des.
Sugoi Nami.
I do that quite a lot.
Arlong. There's a really funny reaction video of these guys watching like the anime episode of like the walk to Arlong Park, and they are screaming. It's really funny. They're losing their minds. They're like, "That's the captain. That's the captain right there."
That's so funny. I was talking to a coworker, because I had brought up that a customer's last name was Langley, and I was like, oh, Asuka, and then I was just walking around going Evangelion, and then he pivots that insanely. He goes, "What's your thoughts on One Piece?" Which is insane to go from me just mentioning Evangelion to One Piece.
That's the average One Piece fan.
He's not a One Piece fan.
Oh.
He actually hates One Piece.
Okay, now it's weird.
He was like, dude, I was like, yeah, I've read like the first 50 or so chapters. Like I'm working on it, but I'm doing like an arc a week. And I was like, yeah, it's pretty decent so far. It's like not crazy, but it's pretty decent. And he's like, well, that's your first problem. I'm like, whoa.
I don't know if he's reading or watching.
He said he read up to like chapter 4 to 500 and then stopped because he wanted to read that far to be able to say that he'd read enough to say it's bad.
Oh, so okay.
So
you went in with the wrong mindset.
He probably did.
You know what's funny?
What?
This is not an excuse because I think there are 3 chapters before that point that are like S tier that are truly incredible. But right after that, like chapter 550 is the arc that's usually considered like possibly the best in the series. Maybe it was the first time I've read an arc in my life where I'm like, this might be better than Golden Age.
Really? Well, I don't remember exactly the number he left off on.
It would
that
be
was
funny
like a
to just
random
get
thing.
right up to that point and drop it. But if you didn't like it up to that point, you won't like it farther.
Yeah, no.
Like, you got to get through Alabasta and like fucking Water 7.
Yeah, I think it's so. Dude, what the fuck? I think it's so easy to, like the easiest critique of One Piece ever is like it just shouldn't be that long.
Yeah.
It just doesn't need to be that long, and like you're not even wrong for saying that. Like it just doesn't need to be that long.
This reminds me, the first chapter, remember when I said in the first episode that like sometimes Oda just writes things in and then he's like, fuck, I have to actually deal with that now, and that's why it kind of bloats the story at times?
Yeah.
The example I had in my head when I said that was, I can say it now because they've been introduced, the 7 warlords.
Oh, like the government guys? Yeah.
Yeah. Because he truly just threw a number out there. I saw it in an interview. He's like, I just thought it sounded cool.
7 is like a cooler sounding number.
7's a great sounding number, but now you have to go through 7 warlords.
Now you have to bring them up, yeah.
Yeah, Mihawk's the beast one.
It was kind of a free pass to be like, was Arlong a warlord? Okay.
God, no. Mihawk was, and then the other one they mentioned is Jinbei. Which, I forgot they bring up Jinbei this early.
Yeah, I say I don't know that character at all, but...
You don't meet him for a long time.
Jinbei. Yeah, it is like, it's better than like the 6 warlords. Like that's not nearly as cool as the 7
maybe
warlords.
Get away with 5.
The 5 warlords.
7
I think you have to do odd.
7 is dope. The 7 warlords, and that's One Piece. The whole thing.
The whole
We're
entirety
done.
of One Piece.
That was Wano, and this is the Slop Reviewer.
Get me out of this.
Get the fuck out of here.
I am always a huge fan of the incest.